The time series chart is the most important tool in the whole ad account. That's why I saved this for right after the rest of the metrics videos, because this will help you understand like why this is really, really important. But basically, marketing data is very similar to financial data. You look at it over time, right? Like marketing data, if you're not looking at it in comparisons of time, I mean, I don't know what else you would be looking at, right? Really, like the whole idea is to make improvements over time. So sometimes it's day by day Snapchat, sometimes it's week by week, sometimes it's month over month. But the idea is like you're trying to make things better over time. And what's interesting is like, I don't know how, but Facebook still doesn't have a time series chart built into the dashboard. You actually have to use the reporting tool to get to it. Doesn't make any sense. I forget if the other platforms do or don't, but Google's is generally pretty good and you can put a lot of stuff on it. And what I love doing is comparing metrics different ways and just looking at the trends for the whole account, for certain campaigns, for certain components, for campaign types. Um, it this little graph here will show up at every window in Google Ads, so it's really really important. So what I'm going to do is zoom in on this. So we've got data from the 5th to the 11th. Now, there's not a lot of data, so I won't be able to show here like weekly data, but if you wanted to see weekly, monthly, if you have like yearly and quarterly, I don't really have many accounts where this is even relevant, just especially when you consider how broken some people's tracking is. Um, but daily, weekly, monthly are usually what you'll use, and really daily and weekly are the best to show the trends. But daily, like you could see, like the campaign spent fairly well here, and then it dropped off. I don't remember if I just lowered the budget or what. I forget what I was doing with this. Again, I learned pretty quick that I just had no interest in drop shipping with this store. But if we come down here to costs and then we do conversions, now you can see like my first sale came in pretty early and the rest of the money I spent really didn't do anything. So that's interesting. Not really insightful though, right? So now fast forward, like imagine this store was spending $1,000 a day. If we had the same CPA, you'd be getting like 3 sales a day. But let's say it was better. Let's say your CPA was like $10. Spending $1,000 a day. We're getting a lot of sales every day. Like you can see very quickly if you make changes to the ad account, you'll either get more conversions, you'll get less conversions. You'll be able to measure it in a matter of days if your changes have actually made an impact. And that's what this does. This lets you see that easier. Another one I like to compare is just general search impression share, right? So like now this is search engine marketing. This is one of the most important things you can do here because this helps you understand like how much opportunity is there to scale. So you could see for these first few days, my search impression share. So I was showing for about 14% of all available searches, 17% this day, 14 this day. So this means like if I could figure out how to get a profitable ROAS, like say if I got this like a 2x ROAS for this product somehow, there's room to like double, triple the budget. I'd lose because right, like I'd probably have to spend more per click to get more impressions, and basically how it works is if you want to get more impressions, you usually have to increase your CPC bid. So I'd be less profitable at scale, and that's kind of how all of internet marketing works. As you increase budgets, you generally get less return. Um, but basically, like this tells me that there's a lot of room to improve if I did manage to get something that was pretty profitable. But this also tells me like this isn't going to be $1 million ad account, and that's not how Google Ads works. Like especially for commoditized products, they're just very competitive. So like skincare stuff, jewelry stuff, like this is jewelry. Um, anything that's like a formula is usually some kind of commodity. But basically, these accounts really just scale with brand awareness. So as you're scaling up your paid social accounts, like I first learned this on the first ad account I was working on, the first couple ad accounts, and like I pulled because I couldn't understand why they were working. So I pulled spend trends for like 2 years back, and month over month, like Facebook ads, and these are accounts only running Facebook and Google, but Facebook spend goes up, Google spend goes up, Facebook spend goes down, Google spend goes down, and you try to look at profitability, but I've worked on so many accounts at this point and seen that trend, and there's like a few instances where that's not the case, where Google's now your acquisition channel and Facebook's supporting it. That doesn't happen often, and I'll go into that more in the search engine marketing principles course on how that works, why that is, why that isn't. But again, going back to like the focus of this video, which is time series data, like use this to help figure stuff out. Like right now, like this taught us that there's more opportunity here if we were getting sales, right? We weren't. Um, Now let's see what else we got in here. Like we can look at the Google Analytics metrics over time, pages per session, right? So now there's only a few days of data, but like if I made a very significant change to the site, and like a lot of times you can find out something's broken on the site by looking at these. Like you might have a sharp drop off of pages per session. Maybe that means your landing page is broken. Bounce rates could change significantly, and again, that could be an update to someone doing some tracking and tagging on the site. Maybe they accidentally made a non-hit interaction a hit interaction. I'm not even going to make training about that. That's maybe another time. I don't know. I recorded an internal Google Analytics training at an agency I worked at in the past, and it was just long. It was like 8 hours. I don't know if I want to do that again. But essentially, yeah, I mean, look at your data over time, play around with this, see what you can put in here, and essentially you'll learn a lot. I mean, you'll really learn a lot of information about this. So like you could see costs and impressions, like CPMs didn't change too much as we were scaling up or down. So that also says that there's probably room to increase and maybe not have CPCs go up too much. Clicks, same thing. These are, you can see CPC stayed relatively the same the whole time. And you can even see that here, right? Pretty much the same, except for that first day. Usually with this stuff, the first few days are rough. But again, machine learning conversion bidding, we'll go into that later. But yeah, look at your data over time, play around with this, see what you can come up with. Now, one that's cool is the ROAS. Like on this one day, I had a 0.87 ROAS, and every other day it's 0. So like this is, again, like the whole time this only got a 0.12, 0.16 or whatever, really low. So you don't really want to look at ROAS day over day as a marketer, unless you're doing some significant daily changes. Google Ads, you don't work the accounts every day. You're going to do more harm than good that way, and just kind of correlate things that don't necessarily correlate. It's best to, weekly. I usually really like to try to work them bi-weekly, but if you do it too soon, you're gonna over optimize the accounts. You're gonna make changes that shouldn't get made, and you're gonna go crazy obsessing over things that you're better off with Google Ads looking at things outside the account to figure out how to make changes inside the account. So if your Facebook spend's going up, you'll probably want to make some adjustments in the account. If it's going down, you'll want to make some adjustments in the account. You'll see for accounts running Facebook and Google only, and these are usually like $1 million brands or less, even up to like $5 million brands. Like people will get really high sometimes before they try to diversify their traffic further. You'll find like Facebook ad account goes down because of a credit card or a policy violation. Like depending on the bidding strategies you use, like your account will either keep spending and not get sales because your spillover traffic dries up from Facebook, or the whole account will like scale itself down because there's no one searching. So really, really interesting stuff. Again, I'll talk more about that later, but time series data is the answer. Like plot your data on the chart, look at a lot of different things, try to figure stuff out. There's also other chart types in here. I don't really use these. I don't even, maybe sometimes with demographics in another place, and I'm not even going to talk about that in this course. Maybe I'll make an advanced Google Ads course after this one if enough people are interested. I guess if you want to know more about the advanced strategies, let me know and I'll make a course on it. But this is intended to be more simple, more high level. Um, yeah. So this is time series. This is the chart, and we talked about a lot of other stuff too. But I think it was worth it. So here we go. Time series. Use it.